Hari Om. We'll chant from verse number 34. Tadviddhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninastatvadarshinaha yajñātvā na punarmoham evam yasyasi pandhava yena bhutanyasheshena drakshasyatmanyatho mayi api chedasi papebhyah सर्वेभ्यः पापकृत्तमः सर्वं ज्ञानप्लवेनैव वृजिनं सन्तरिष्यसि यथेधांसि समिद्धोऽग्निः भस्मसात् कुरुतेऽर्जुन ज्ञानाग्निः सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा न हि ज्ञानेन सदृशम् पवित्रमिह विद्यते तत्स्वयं योगसंसिद्धः कालेनात्मनि विन्दति श्रद्धावान् लभते ज्ञानम् तत्परः संयतेन्द्रियः ज्ञानं लब्ध्वा परां शान्तिम् अचिरेणाधिगच्छति अज्ञश्च श्रद्धधानश्च संशयात्मा विनश्यति नायं लोकोऽस्ति न परः न सुखं संशयात्मनः. So Bhagwan is very systematically guiding Arjuna. He is explaining every step which we have to take to reach our final destination of self-enlightenment. So first is we have to become a karma yogi. We have to understand our responsibilities, fulfill them, and offer all this karma phala at the feet of the Lord. When we follow this path of karma yoga, our mind starts becoming more and more pure. Along with karma yoga, with the same attitude of karma yoga, we should also do upasana. So various upasanas also Bhagavan mentioned, the various yajnas. They help us to further purify our mind, and also when the mind becomes pure, we develop that jidnyasa, that thirst to know. Then with that thirst to know, we approach a teacher, do namaskar to the teacher, ask various questions, do seva, and have that proper attitude of what you call Shraddha, etc., the teacher will then teach. And with that knowledge, we gain a vision. We come to understand, we come to realize that all the beings exist in me. All these various beings, they exist in me and they exist in Ishvara, means I and Ishvara by nature are one. And this knowledge will destroy all our papa. Even if the greatest sinner is there, will become free of all sins by this knowledge. There is no greater purifier than this self-knowledge. So one should have full Shraddha, then Tatparata, ever ready to gain this knowledge and have full control over the senses. So with this faith, when we approach a teacher, we definitely learn, and with this we also become free of all our disturbances. We gain that param shanti. So jnanam labdhva param shantim achirena adhigacchati. One attains that supreme peace. So Shraddha is very important, faith. Absence of Shraddha, we will not approach. Sometimes we don't have Shraddha in one teacher, so we don't approach, or even if we approach, we don't learn. So we can go to the other teacher. If we don't have Shraddha in one particular aspect of the scripture, at least we will study the other. But if a person is of the doubting nature, samshayatma, doubts everything, doubts all teachers, doubts all scriptures, doubts all the sadhanas, such a person, Bhagavan says, is gone case. There is no hope in this life. So, na ayam lokaha asti, na paraha, na sukham, there is no sukha also. Samshayatmanaha, samshayatma vinashyati. So, samshayatma gets destroyed totally. So, one should not encourage this samshay. You have to have that faith. And with faith, when we listen, when we understand, the scriptures don't say that we should not use our rational thinking. We can use. The scriptures doesn't say that you should forget about all your experiences. No, we can understand what the scriptures are saying by comparing with our own experiences. But there is a path which is totally unknown, unknown for us at present. So for that we should have that faith. Then only we will be able to walk. Everything cannot be known in advance. We have to walk. Just as if we want to, like in the scientific world also, they send satellites up, but they do all the calculation here on Earth. In the beginning they might have failed also. Then they came to know some calculation was not proper. So now they know all the calculation. So they know that it will go and land on that. So similarly, intellectually we will be able to understand and appreciate all that the scriptures are saying, and all our doubts will get cleared. And once that knowledge happens, then the last part of our yatra is to gain abidance in that knowledge. It's called jnana nishtha. So karma yoga, upasana, jnana, and jnana nishtha. Jnana nishtha, abidance in that knowledge. And to help us to gain abidance in that knowledge, this is all associated with karma sannyas, it is called. Giving up of all actions and abiding in one's own self. So this last stage of our sadhana, Bhagavan mentions in the following verse 41. Yoga sannyasta karmanam jnana samchinna samshayam atmavantam na karmani nibadhnanti dhananjaya yoga sannyasta karmanam jnana samchinna samshayam Yoga sannyasta karmanam. See, in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan uses the word yoga in various meanings. So one has to understand not only yoga but other terms also. One has to understand them with respect to the context. Many times we take the word, then check the dictionary, then it will become confusing to comprehend what Bhagavad Gita is saying. So here, with yoga, sannyasta karmana, one who has given up all karmas with yoga. So what does it mean? What is yoga? It says parmartha darshana lakshanena yogena. Through the knowledge, when one gains the knowledge of that oneness, that the self in me and the self in all is one, that I am that Brahma, when this convincing knowledge happens in the buddhi. See, this knowledge also happens with the help of our buddhi only. Our buddhi is quite a wonderful equipment. With the help of buddhi, we know so many things of this world. All the scientists and all, they come to know the secrets of this world with the help of the buddhi only. To know the world, we require tikshna, very sharp intellect. But with the same intellect, we can know ourselves also. But for that, we require a sukshma buddhi, a pure, shuddha and sukshma, subtle intellect and pure intellect. With it acts like a mirror. And through this buddhi, we come to see our own self as though. Just as a pure mirror reflects whatever is in front of it. And the mirror also has got this capacity to reflect the space. Though space doesn't have any form, doesn't have any color, doesn't have any other quality, but if the mirror, pure mirror is exposed to space, the very nature of the mirror is to reflect whatever is in front. Similarly, at present also the self is reflected in this buddhi. How? As I thought, as I am. When we experience that I am, when we say that I exist, I am, that is nothing but reflection of that self only. Because self doesn't have any thought. It is free from thoughts. But we have the experience of our own existence. This experience of our own existence is nothing but a reflection of the self in our buddhi. But since the buddhi is impure, and also because of our avidya, ignorance, this I am is associated with something else also. The reflection is not very clear. So as we study, as we do Shravan Manan, as we do our sadhana, as the buddhi becomes more and more pure, the reflection of the self becomes more and more clear. So that itself is called the knowledge of the self. Self cannot be self, is like space. But in that pure intellect, the reflection of the space like self is like the knowledge only. And with the help of this knowledge, we have to meditate. Then the journey of meditation starts, which is called nididhyasana. Unless we get this reflection of that consciousness in the buddhi, our nididhyasana doesn't start. So nididhyasana or jnana nishtha is the final step. For that, we come to know that I am not the doer also. So all the sense of doership drops and lot of actions also drops automatically. So that itself is called karma sannyas. All the actions gets dropped, both the dharma as well as adharma, and once one practices gaining abidance in one's own self. So with this help of this jnana, we give up the sense of doership And the actions also, means the notion that I am doing, that drops off. Action might continue to happen. The body continues to function. Breathing and all keeps happening. But I don't have the sense of doership. So that is called karma sannyas, which happens after jnana. So yoga sannyasta karmanam. So here yoga means jnana, jnana yoga. So through this jnana yoga, sannyasta karmanam, and through this jnana itself, samchinna samshayam, one can dispel all doubts, one can destroy all questions. All our questions, all our doubts will get dispelled when this knowledge happens. See, before we we experience certain things, we might have a doubt about it. Let us say some food is there and someone says, oh, it is very sweet. Just by looking at it and all, we might not be convinced. But when we taste it and we know that, oh, it's sweet, then all our doubts get dispelled. But here, when we gain this knowledge with proper praman of the scriptures and using our rational thinking, when we understand that, yes, I am this Brahma, all our doubts get dispelled. So, jnana samchinna samshayam, all samshaya get chinna, destroyed through jnana, through knowledge. Such a person, atmavantam, such a person is called atmavantam. He has become atmavan. Atmavan means he has attained his self. Though self has not gone anywhere, but because of ignorance we feel we have not attained. Because of ignorance we don't experience the nature of that self. It is actually a person is having sometimes we keep the spectacles on our head and keep looking for it everywhere. So, similarly, the self is with me only, but I keep looking for it. But when I come to know it and gain abidance in it, I will be called like Atmavan, have attained the self, is with the self. So Atmavantam, such a Atmavantam, na karmani nibadnanti, becomes free of karma bandhan. The karmas don't bind such a person, because there is nobody there to get bound. He's become free. There is no doer there. So actions don't bind, the results don't bind, the world doesn't bind, nothing can bind that person. He's free. कोई नहीं वहाँ पर. Knock, knock, who is there? Nobody is there. So, the karmas don't bind such a person. Atmavantam na karmani nivaddanti dhananjaya. Hey Dhananjaya, these karmas don't bind. So, right from Karma Yoga, step by step, Bhagwan explained how, after gaining knowledge, karma sannyas, and that abidance in that self. So this is the final ultimate goal. But Arjun has not reached that stage. He had not gained that knowledge. He was not jnanavan. Arjuna was still at the level of the karma yoga only. So therefore Bhagwan advises him to follow the path of karma yoga. In the last words he says, Tasmad ajnana sambhutam ristham jnanasinatmanaha chitvainam samshayam yogam atishthostistha bharata tasmad ajnana sambhutam. Tasmat. Tasmat means because of all these reasons which I told you, Bhagavan says. Right from the beginning, all that knowledge Bhagavan gave Arjuna. And the importance of karma yoga was told again and again. So therefore Bhagavan says, Tasmat Ajnana Sambhutam Ristam Jnanasinatmanaha Chitva Enam Samshayam. This samshay which is there, what is the samshay? That how can this path lead to that moksha? Then further when samshay can be there at every level. Further when we come to the scriptures, we say how can that scripture teach us? How do you know that what they are saying is true? Then samshay in our teacher, how do you know that he or she will teach us? So at every level there is this samshay which can ultimately get dispelled with knowledge. So in order to gain that knowledge with faith, you follow this path of karma yoga, Bhagavan says. If you get established properly in karma yoga, automatically that faith will also come, because chitta shuddhi will take place and you will reach the final destination. See, people don't start the first step itself and they keep on doubting they want to discuss the final step in detail. First step has not been taken. So that is not proper. So Bhagavan says, कि योगम आतिष्ठ उत्तिष्ठ भारत, कि हे भारत, हे अर्जुना, you get established in this yoga. Which yoga? Karma yoga. And stand up. Uttishtha. Stand up means he was sitting there giving up all his bow, arrow. He said, stand up and fight this war. That is your kartavya karma. So fight this war. By following that karma yoga, slowly and steadily your mind will become pure. If you die also, next life you will continue with this journey. So don't worry about life and death. Worry about following the right path. If you are following the right path, then it doesn't matter. Even if one dies in the battlefield, you will continue on this path. But if you are on the wrong path, even if you live for a long time, it will not be good. So follow this path of karma yoga. It will lead you to knowledge, and with that knowledge, jnanasinatmanaha, atmana, with your self knowledge, is like a asina, is like a asi, is like a what you call talwar. With that talwar, you destroy this samshaya which is there in your heart. What samshaya? About your own self. So atmanaha samshayam ristham, which is there in your heart. Jnanasinatmanaha, jnanasina, with the sword of knowledge. Chitva, having destroyed it completely, you remain as Atmavan. But before you reach that state, you have to follow the path of Karma Yoga. So Bhagavan tells him about Karma Yoga. So Yogam Atishto Tishta Bharata. So get established in this yoga, Karma Yoga. Thereafter, you will gain knowledge, and with that knowledge, you will be able to destroy all the remaining doubt also. All samshay will get destroyed. So take the first step. Everything will be fine. Take the first step. So in this way, Bhagavan guided Arjuna very systematically in this chapter. And there is this concluding Sankalpa Vakya, will chant that. Om Tat Saditi Shrimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade ज्ञान कर्म संन्यास योगो नाम चतुर्थोऽध्यायः। Om Tat Sat is the indicator of that Brahma. It is Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So in this Bhagavad Gita, Upanishadsu, Bhagavad Gita is like Upanishad only. Brahma Vidyayam, in this the knowledge of Brahma, that supreme reality is revealed. And Yoga Shastre, this is also a science of yoga, means of the path which leads to that self-realization. And this is revealed in the form of a dialogue between Bhagavan Sri Krishna, who is the Sakshat avatar of Ishvara. So Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade and Arjuna, that Samvad. The name of this chapter is Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. So Bhagavan had talked about Karma Yoga in the 3rd chapter. This Karma Yoga leads to Jnana. Then that Jnana leads to Karma Sannyas. And that leads to that abidance in that self. Therefore this chapter focuses more on this Jnana and Karma Sannyas. Therefore it is called Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. See, it's Karma Sannyas is required for gaining that final state of abidance. And this is the 4th chapter. So it's a very beautiful chapter which Bhagavan begins by giving the parampara of the knowledge which he had revealed in the 2nd and 3rd chapter. And then he talked about his avatar also, that I take avatar by controlling my own Maya or Prakriti. Then he said that those who understand the secret of my birth and my action also becomes free. Thereafter Bhagavan talked about how his actions are free of the sense of doership and also attachment. There is no attachment to the karma phala. So he talked about the Chaturvarna system also, that following the Chaturvarna system, when we come to know what is our duty, and if we do it, we will become free eventually. So he talked about that knowledge, how seeing akarma in karma, to see that Atma in all these activities itself is the vision of that wise person, which destroys all darkness, and such a wise person remains in this world untouched by the karma and karma phala, as an enlightened being. Sees Brahma in everything, Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi. Therefore Bhagavan says that you also follow this path. Then he talked about various types of sadhana, yajna, which are like upasanas, which help us further purify our mind. And then this leads to knowledge. So we can gain that knowledge by approaching a teacher. Teacher gives us knowledge by which we see our own self in all and the whole world in our own self. Bhagavan says you should have faith in the teacher and learn. Don't have any samshay. Don't doubt. And finally, after that knowledge, karma sannyas and then jnana nishtha. Therefore, Bhagavan tells Arjuna, you get up and fight. You follow this path of karma yoga. Bhagavan did lot of stuti of karma sannyas, and then he talked to Arjuna that you stand up and fight this war. Follow the path of karma yoga. So thus concludes this chapter. We will begin the next chapter, but before that we will just sing Bhagavan's name, take a break. Break means not that you go out, but then we will then start. Okay? So close your eyes. Om If we observe our breath, we will find that breathing goes on automatically, and we are just the observer. We are not breathing. Breathing is happening in the body, and we are the witness of this breathing. If you continue to observe for a long time the breathing, you will see clearly the distinction between the observer and the observed. Just as when we are asleep, the breathing goes on, the same way, when we are awake, the breathing goes on. We are not breathing. Breathing is happening in nature. In the same way, thinking is also happening. Feeling is also happening. Decisions are also happening. Reactions are also happening. I am just a witness. I am not the doer of any of these actions. When I understand this, I can remain free of all actions, remain as a witness of all these actions, remain as a non-doer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.